So let's have a look at what's happened in the mobile industry in March of 2014. It's end of the first quarter, so been a pretty good start to the year, I think. So let's start with some final comments from Barcelona, the Mobile World Congress. Some of the key trends were the push to super cheap smartphones, specifically for emerging markets. Lots of Chinese manufacturers are pushing that quite aggressively. Bigger tablets and the phablet phase or trend, but it's between a phone and a tablet, the large screen phones. 5G is certainly starting to get some awareness with crazy connectivity speeds. The wearables, we spoke about wearables before, so people having a watch that they can look at to see notifications. I think it's going to be a huge element of the mobile industry in the years to come. Some interesting new operating systems. Tizen and Sailfish are now out. And then cars is the next sort of frontier for connectivity, which is quite exciting. Very importantly, in the Western Cape, there is a big push to have a free Wi-Fi for about 90,000 residents for the first phase of the project. Specifically in areas that obviously don't have very good internet connectivity, but the ultimate goal is every resident must have access to free or affordable internet. So very good news in the Western Cape. Wearables are certainly a big trend. So we've had moves from Sony and Pebbles, a very popular Kickstarter project. Samsung's also in that space. I think we should expect something to come out of Apple within the next year around the wearable, specifically being a watch. But I really think that it is going to be something that needs to be considered very carefully by app developers. I think it's a next frontier. Lots of confusion around the mobile termination rate fee cuts, where the smaller networks will pay less than the larger networks to terminate calls on networks. So there has been a first round win for Cell C and Telkom Mobile to be able to pay less in terms of interconnect fees, but there is a 6-month review that has been required by a judge. Out of Mobile World Congress about 3 years ago, there was an initiative to see what the mobile networks and the mobile industry could do around disasters and crises. And Vodacom this last month launched what they call the Instant Network Mini, which is an 11-kilogram backpack network in a backpack, which is incredible. So allowing people to get and send SMSs, but also quite interesting that it's one of the key opportunities is to be able to provide people that are desperate with money so that they can purchase things in those areas where banks might have been affected. Another great trend that's come out of Google in the last couple of months has been their Project Aura, which is it's a modular smartphone. So you get the base and you clip on additional components, and that's got a lot of chats and industry talking about it. Tamagotchis have been reinstated for some crazy reason. I'm not even going to dwell on that. It's not worth talking about. Samsung Galaxy 5 being launched. There's some concerns about the availability for Samsung to keep up with demand and have some production issues. So hopefully they'll get through that. Yotaphone, a Russian manufacturer of phones, has launched a phone with dual screen. So the front of the device is the normal high quality screen, but the back is an e-reader, so typically similar to a Kindle. And they use significantly less power, virtually no power actually. And so you can get your notifications or even use it as a reader at very low power. So it's a fairly good innovation, and it's one of the first real screen innovations that we've seen in the last couple of months or years for that matter. The Litro camera is a camera that allows you to take a single photo and then change the depth or the focus of the image that you want to focus on. And that's been introduced to the new HTC flagship Android, the HTC One, which is the M8, that they've included that kind of functionality in it. So once again, computational photography is growing significantly, and that's a great addition to that. ZTE, one of the lesser known manufacturers, 40% of their phones this year are going to be 4G smartphones, so that's very exciting for the 4G market. Microsoft has launched the Office for iPad, also very good news. And Google has unveiled its Wear platform for wearables. So if you need to develop an app for a phone, you can use the Android Wear platform. So good news for wearables developers. Mobile, in the mobile advertising space, Google and Facebook are starting to dominate the ad revenue. They've been, Facebook particularly has been quite late to that market, but they are accounting for nearly, let's have a look here. So nearly 60% of the market in the States is being controlled by Google and Facebook in terms of the revenue. So big players in that space. The other big news last month was Facebook bought Oculus, which is a virtual reality headset for $2 billion, a huge success out of Kickstarter. It was one of the early Kickstarter projects that were funded. Has raised some questions about ownership. Some of the early funders are saying that they would like a little piece of the $2 billion. So yeah, depends on what you're actually buying into when you do fund something on Kickstarter. But a really big exit for the guys from Oculus. Instagram's had 200 million users, which is insane. And then World.Works released the Mobility 2014 report. So there's a huge amount of stats around the South African internet markets and mobile internet market. If you need to get hold of that from World.Works, looking at the mobile data spend and mobile time spent online. And finally, in the SA elections, the one big thing I just want to mention is that the ANC has, on Facebook, has nearly doubled its follower base. So some interesting activity there. The DA is grown by about 20% compared to the ANC's 100%. So yeah, some fairly interesting things there. And in a recent political interaction on radio station, it seemed that the EFF had a very strong Twitter following. So interesting for the South African parties and how social media and mobile are going to play a role in this next elections. That's it, and as usual, the entire report can be found on the Native VML website at nativevml.com, and we hope you enjoy it.